Hello everybody and welcome to the majestic return of the Monday Madness Football Podcast. It's a new season, which means new people. It's your old friends Jonathan, Burkbot and Neil joining you to preview the 2017-2018 Premier League season. Lads, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Alright.
Yeah, it's been too long. I haven't done one of these in ages.
Yeah, it's been far too fucking long now.
That's because you've been insisting on, living outside of civilization. So, you kind of you kind of have yourself to blame there, to be honest with you.
I almost forgot what a football was.
I know, I see people kicking this spherical object down the road and I'm like, what?
Where did you get squirrels like that?
That'll never catch on.
No, that definitely won't become a horrific fucking money spinner that's abused by middle-aged fucking or Middle Eastern royal families. There could be middle-aged as well. I don't. Why am I casting doubt on these people? Anyway, we're going to take this time to preview the new season. First of all the teams that are in the Premier League. We're going to stay away from the bulk of the transfer talk. We're going to do that on deadline day itself. So we're going to leave all of our ramblings on Neymar to PSG until then, because quite frankly we could spend about an hour giving out about that anyway, so we might leave that for the proper transfer deadline day blowout extravaganza
on that.
Oh dear. But yes, let's not look a gift cunt in the mouth. So how is everyone feeling about the new Premier League season? I mean, obviously you two are apparently Arsenal fans. Are you feeling optimistic?
I think I'm looking more forward to a cervical cancer scan than actually this season. Just as an Arsenal fan, I've just given up on it.
That is a wonderful opening gambit for this podcast. I am more looking forward to a smear test than the first home game of the season. That is a quote that we should stop the podcast right now. We're not getting any better than that. That's it. The end. We're done. Good night, everybody.
We're flat out.
Drop the mic.
You just need a microphone to drop.
Anyway, so what we are going to do is we are going to go through every Premier League team and discuss how we think they're set up for the new season, how we think they're going to do, and right at the end, then we're going to compile all we've said and predict a Premier League table like we did last year and failed miserably at. So I'm hoping for better efforts from all of us this season. At least one of us can predict who the champion is going to be, which we didn't last year. We all missed that out by a fucking long shot. So hopefully we can do better. But in that case, there's only one place we can start because we're going alphabetically, and that's Arsenal. So the two resident Gooners in the room, well, not in the room, but you know what I mean. How has been your pre-season?
Well, it's been good. We've done the kind of hilariously termed pre-season treble.
Yes.
That we've won every cup, including beating Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah, you can't call them that anymore.
Beating Chelsea in the Community Shield. So, which I quite enjoyed. Now, if you can't enjoy beating Chelsea, I mean, you pretty much just lost.
I love. By the way, Burkbar was having technical difficulties, but it did just sound like she just left when we were about to talk about Arsenal. So that was absolutely perfect timing by somebody on the line there. So anyway, yes.
I know. I was sitting there thinking, wow, she actually really did mic drop. Holy shit!
I just dropped my laptop.
She is actually going for a smear test. That's why she can't do the podcast. So yes, you've capped off the pre-season by beating Chelsea in the Charity Shield. How about that?
Pretty good, actually. I mean, to be honest with you, like we played Chelsea before in the pre-season and we lost 3-0, and we beat them here 4-1 on penalties. And I'd much rather it that way around, because if we'd have lost 3-0 on Sunday, I'd have been pretty kind of, here we go again. But I'm all right. I'm kind of okay with this.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna start. We're gonna start the season badly. I mean, I think for the 6th straight season, we've got a home game for starters. And when you consider that we've only ever won one of them,
such a damning indictment of our mentality.
Absolutely. I mean, we lost last season. We lost to Liverpool 4-3 at home. You know, and people say, "Oh well, you know, it's only the start of the season, and there's 30 something plus more games to go." I was like, "Hang on, Liverpool beat us to the Champions League spot by 1 point."
Yeah, like I said, in the end, that match settled it. You know.
Absolutely, you know.
I see what you mean.
And also, of course, if we lose to Leicester, that means that fucking Wenger will be fending off Arsene out or Wenger out questions literally right off the bat at the start of the season, which is going to be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because obviously, since we have spoken on this podcast, we know obviously Wenger's future is settled. He is in the job until at least 2019, so it's a 2-year contract. I presume you guys are happy enough with it, but generally speaking, like, how is the mood for Arsenal fans, even from your own perspective about Wenger being in the job? Do you feel that the team can get any better than where they are now, or is that inertia still there? Do you still feel that a change is necessary for Arsenal to keep up with, let's say, the Manchester clubs and Chelsea?
I think it was more the media pushing this whole thing of, you know, they were focusing in on the Wenger out banners and the Wenger out crowds at the matches, whereas I think had they largely ignored it, it wouldn't have become such a big thing for the players then.
Exactly.
So you're saying they kind of fanned the flames of it, more or less?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because
starting the fire as well.
Kind of guarantee his future or whatever. You could see the players pick up.
Yeah.
Because there was, and that could have come from Arsene Wenger being stressed out himself by the media and getting put under pressure that way, and affecting his judgments and his decision making. You know, like I think all Premier League managers do have that pressure of if I make this substitution, what are the media gonna say?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, maybe it's an afterthought, whatever. But when the media are fanning all this, you know,
when the witch hunt is out there, obviously.
Yeah. I think that goes. It doesn't necessarily mean for Wenger. I mean, this happens to all the other, you know, managers as well. But I think Arsenal have been in that situation for the first time in a very long time, where there's possibility of a manager change, and you know, it's that uncertainty that kind of put us under undue pressure, I'd say. But
because he has been kind of talking about waves of negativity and all that, and that's exactly what you're kind of saying. It all tied in together, and obviously, as a result, you finished 5th last season. It has absolutely no regard for me saying that, because we finished 4th. I just don't want to keep mentioning that, obviously.
It was mainly finishing behind Spurs because they treat that like a trophy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Well, I mean, let's actually talk about that. In comparison to, let's say, your nearest rival, Spurs, do you think you can actually break the curse? Can St. Tottering's Them Day come back this season, or?
Well, right now it depends purely on our signings clicking. Because Spurs pretty much haven't made any.
No, they've gone the strong and stable route, as I like to call it.
They've run the stable route, which is quite funny because Pochettino has come out and said that he does need to reinforce the squad.
Yeah.
They sold Walker and they haven't made any bids to replace him. And whether they're just that is going to step up or whatever, but I think they're going to need cover for Walker. You know, 50 million worth defender. You know, you can't easily replace one of them.
Priceless.
They'll replace him with Trippier, who every Spurs fan I know thinks is a much better right back anyway.
Yeah, like it's a step up if anything, because I think Walker has reached his apex as a player anyway. So I think that's fair enough.
So he's been sold out to the pasture that is Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's no pressure anyway. I mean, he's only fighting for competition anyway. Really, you know, he's not a guaranteed first team player. Neil, come on. But yes, let's going back to Arsenal. Obviously, you're fighting on multiple fronts. You are the defending FA Cup champions, which is always a good thing. What about the Europa League this year? Because you guys have, and not to put so much a delicate point on it, but you have a very bloated squad at the moment. and you are finding it very difficult to offload those players. Players like, let's say, Wilshere, Debussy, Gibbs, a lot of players that are very comfortable, let's say, at Arsenal, whether it be from the high wages, whether it be from just the way the mood is in the team as well. I think it's just a very comfortable club to be at. Do you think the Europa League is an opportunity for these players, or do you think Arsenal are even seeing the Europa League as a priority?
I think you're kind of asking two kind of different questions there. With regards to the players you just named, I think they're all gone.
Okay.
I think they'll be left. Debussy's gone. But in fact, hilariously enough, when you said Debussy's comfortable, he's the one. He's been spoiling for a move for quite a while.
Yeah.
Gibbs wants first team football, but he's been a stalwart backup, but he just doesn't have it. I mean, like every time we fielded him as a left back, it's been very obvious he's just not cut out for it. And he certainly.
Sorry, just to jump in. I do like Gibbs as a player.
And same here. Yeah.
He had a steady run at it. I think he did have. I think when he played his first match in a run, he'd be kind of shaky, and you'd be like, "Oh God, don't pass it out to him." But after maybe 3 or 4 matches, he'd get into a stride. But then Monreal will come back from injury, and he's back out of the team again. So I don't think. But like, I genuinely think he's a great player and has been a great club player. But yeah, I'd be sad to see him go from an Arsenal fan leaving Arsenal, and that could mean that Corporal Jenks is, two wing backs being diehard Arsenal fans, and then leaving in the one season, because I rumbled that Jenkinson's out the door as well. So
absolutely, exactly, he'll be out, and we've already lost another diehard Arsenal fan, which was Szczesny. Who I was quite upset to see go. I understand it, but I still don't like it, if you get me.
And what about your 2 star men, Ozil and Sanchez? Do you think they're still going to be at the club?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to think, but ever the pessimist, I'm preparing for them to go.
Yeah. In fairness now...
I think Ozil will stay. Ozil's definitely going to stay. Nobody wants him.
Yeah, I think he's gone on record in saying that he's staying.
It's quite hilarious, because he's an elite player in the prime age bracket of his skill set.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants him. And I think that's more due to world tactics changing. Nobody really plays with a pure number 10 anymore. I think it's more Sanchez. And Arsenal have stuck to their guns, and Arsene Wenger has said himself that Sanchez will not be sold. He will see out his contract.
Yes.
And then he can fuck off on a free. There was rumblings. There have been rumblings all summer of him being sold off to Manchester City, and I was just like, that absolutely cannot happen.
Yeah. Yeah, the worst thing for at least Arsenal fans is going to a Premier League rival, because you've been down this road before with Van Persie and ultimately Fabregas as well. It's as that kind of like ex-Arsenal player kind of coming back to haunches, that sort of thing. It's happened so many times before historically that you don't really want it to keep going.
Yeah, but our new signings now are... We do need to trim that squad. It's a hugely bloated squad. But our new signings that will look in, we'll get a look in. We'll definitely get a look in the Europa League.
Yeah.
I think the Europa League, you're going to see like Cohen Bramall. You're going to see Reece Nelson. You're going to see him a lot more. And fuck me, that's going to be a good thing, because he is shit hot.
Yes, he's kind of the one player I find who's really stood out in your pre-season, hasn't he? He just, because he is playing in that kind of, I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but he is more like a box-to-box midfielder at the moment. I know he's quite versatile anyway, but in the pre-season he's been deployed as that. Am I right in saying that?
Ish, yeah. I mean, but be aware that in the pre-season we were also deploying like Mohamed El Neni as a centre-back.
True, yeah.
So, when asked about this, Wenger just very bluntly put, I don't think his future is at centre back.
Yeah, that was a failed experiment, let's say.
It's not even a failed. It's not a failed experiment. It's just that pre-season we didn't have any of our central defenders out.
Yeah.
Mustafi was out because he was in the Confederations Cup. Koscielny was nursing injuries. I think we only had Mertesacker. Yeah.
No, we only had Mertesacker, I think, Holding and Chambers, but I don't know. Chambers didn't come back from loan. Did he? Or
I think so. Yeah. And also, there's rumours that he's going to be off to Palace anyway.
Yeah. There's a bid in for him, all right.
And we're going to be selling off. I've heard that Villarreal there. Sorry, I couldn't say that. Villarreal are in for Gabriel.
Yeah, like I said, like a lot of Arsenal players are being linked with clubs, but there's no like substantial bids yet. Is the kind of weird thing. It's almost like everyone's kind of waiting and seeing. Like there's only like inquiries and stuff like that. Further to the point, are you surprised that you haven't been in the market for a centre back, considering now, presumably, that you're going to be sticking to this back three system?
No, because we got enough.
Okay, right, fair enough.
If anything, we need well, if I was going to get another player in at a defensive-minded player, I'd go for a proper defensive midfield monster.
Mm-hmm. And have you not got that with Xhaka?
No, if you see him in the preseason, he's more of a kind of ball spreader and long-range howitzer.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
He would have scored an absolute fucking unbelievable goal in the Community Shield had it not been for an equally fucking unbelievable save by Courtois. Because he'd absolutely letterboxed it from about 35 yards out and he'd milled the ball. And just that fingertip save from Courtois got it out. It's kind of one of those things. When I pull off those saves on friends down the park, they're the ones that go, "You absolute wanker." But Courtois did come back and repay us later on in the penalty shootout.
Yeah,
actually, just on the penalty shootout there with the ABBA stuff.
Yes.
I think that benefited us way more. I think they're bringing in this new style because the teams who took the traditional penalty shootout first would had a 60% chance of winning because you get that kind of mental upper hand, I suppose. But I think now it's going to be the opposite way. Now that we've only seen it once, I've only seen it once. They use it in the women's football a lot, but it hasn't actually, in any of the matches I've watched, I haven't actually seen it get to penalties. But I think if had we been on the Chelsea side of that draw for the ABBA penalties, I think we would have lost as well. I don't trust our mental strength, and I'm surprised that Chelsea's mental strength wasn't there either. But I know they could just have more important things than Community Shield on their mind or whatever. But it'd be interesting to see how that plays out in other competitions and stuff. So I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, no, Bill, I was actually quite surprised how bad their penalties were. I mean, all right then, Courtois. Generally you'll only ever get Brazilian clubs that enjoy their goalkeepers taking penalties, because I think their rationale for that is that the goalkeepers kick the ball really, really hard a lot, so they can kick the ball harder than anybody else.
Well, it worked, didn't it? He kicked the ball really hard. It just wasn't particularly accurate.
It actually just landed in my back garden here.
I thought I heard a thump. All right, yeah. You better get that on eBay, man. Get a few quid out of it.
But I'd be more worried about Morata's penalty, which was really bad.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll talk about Chelsea because I think it warrants a lot of conversation there, because I think there's something not right there at that club, which we'll get to in time. But as we wrap up this section on Arsenal, Lacazette, what do we think of him? About £50 million for him. Obviously there to offset Giroud for the lone striker. Are you impressed with him so far, or do you need to see some proper real time data on him?
He scored on his debut, which is nice, but in pre-season, and then in the first kind of semi-competitive match, he hit the post.
Cracking shot.
But I will say Arsenal played a lot better in the last few minutes when Giroud and who came on with Giroud, Walcott.
Yes.
The Arsenal kind of went back to the kind of familiar system of Theo running in behind and cutting across to Giroud, or I think Giroud is stronger on headed balls than Lacazette, and I think when we switched to that style, Chelsea didn't cope with it as well, because we forged a few chances in the last few minutes when they came on, but as a Giroud fangirl, I was always going to say that. But,
that's kind of a given, isn't it?
No, I'm happy we got Lacazette. There's a couple other teams in for him, so it's nice to know that he actually bets someone to the signature.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Lacazette myself. Like I see just a lot of like the way I kind of describe Lacazette is a good Anelka. You know how Nicolas Anelka was red hot when he was in his like early 20s. He was playing for you guys, he played for us, and his movement off the ball and everything about that was so precise, and his finishing was spot on. And I think Lacazette is that sort of player, but is progressing instead of regressing. You know, one thing I do find surprising about him is that he's not the French number one striker. Giroud still is. That still catches me by surprise, but I think that's only a gradual thing as well.
I think that's more to do. Actually, just going back to the point there, when you said, "Are you impressed, or do you need to see more of him?" I'm actually both. I think he looked quite sharp. The shot that he curled off the post, by the way, had Courtois beaten by about fucking 4 miles.
Yeah,
like he was just not getting to that. He swerved it. I think what the best thing, if he pulls that off more, I'll get to use my the swaz word again. I get to use swaz again.
It's gonna be the word of the day, no matter what. Like, it's the word of the year, lads. Come on, let's get it going.
But the thing is, he was also involved in the build-up. It was him who played the 1-2 with Hector Bellerin down the right flank. Not the easiest player to keep up with.
No, true.
And Bellerin then passed it into Welbeck, who did that typical Welbeck thing of manoeuvring himself into an excellent goal-scoring opportunity and then passing the ball.
I really wish we can sell him.
You never know. You might get your wish. You might get your wish yet. You never know.
Maybe.
He is number one on my shit list, I suppose. Get rid of the Deadwood at the club. Like I'd put him ahead of Debussy. Like
Debussy doesn't even have a squad number.
What?
Debussy doesn't even have a squad number.
He was Joe Campbell.
Oh yeah, him too.
Uh,
But yeah, I'd still get rid of Welbeck first.
Okay, fair enough. Right, let's
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
With regards to other signings, I'm less enthused about Lacazette. I'm more enthused, thanks mostly in part to that preseason game, by our new left back, Kolasinac.
Yeah, he seems like a real steal as well, considering he's a free transfer.
Like an absolute fucking tank.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be he's a shrewd signing, all right. Because like I said, he is that kind of like this exact kind of player you needed. Let's be fair.
The 2 signings we got in pre-season scored on their debuts.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. That's a nice omen, maybe. I don't know.
You never know. You never know.
He's fast. He's fast. He's really ridiculously strong. Like, and he made a stunning run at one point where he basically marauded at 70 yards down the pitch from our half right into the Chelsea half, and I think he had a Chelsea player pretty much on his back the whole way and just shrugged him off. Like I'm really looking forward to watching. There's a good couple of right-sided wingers in the league that I'm looking forward to watching bounce off him like bullets off a tank hull.
I think Mane comes to mind anyway. That'll be an intriguing one.
That would be a fucking interesting one. But I guarantee you, fucking Jesus Navas is sitting at home in Sevilla going, thank fuck I don't have to play against that guy.
In fairness, Navas is such a lightweight you could fucking sneeze on me. He'd fly off into the fucking advertising boards.
And also it means that we're definitely keeping Theo Walcott, because there's no way he's going to want to play against that motherfucker.
That's true. That is very true.
Very true.
Yes. So let's that's our Arsenal talk done. So moving on then alphabetically to Bournemouth. And I have to say, like, personally myself about I think we're all big fans of Bournemouth. I think it's this is going to be a really good season for them. I was kind of surprised last season they ended up in the in a sort of relegation scrap, and then they really kind of kicked on at the end. A lot of that was thanks to Josh King and his phenomenal form. I'm very surprised that no one has been in for Josh King. Hopefully haven't jinxed it as of yet. But he is a really top player. He's developed so well at Bournemouth, and I'm really surprised at that, because considering he was like a free transfer from fucking Blackburn, you know, it's a weird kind of like how they saw the potential of him so early and have developed him since.
I was actually about to cut in on you there when you said you were surprised at how well he did. I'm not. Eddie Howe's a fucking brilliant manager. Yeah, he is, and I think I might be playing my hand a little bit too early here, obviously with the transfer special up in a few weeks. But I think Bournemouth have done the best business so far in the summer. Primarily because they've just got some star quality players in the squad, and
quite frankly, for absolutely fantastic deals. The only deal they've really had to pay a premium on was Nathan Ake, and I think that was pretty much expected, really. Like, you're going to be, for someone like his age and his quality, his potential, you're going to be paying £20 million for him anyway. You know, but stuff like the Defoe deal for free and Begovic at the cut price deal, those are absolutely stunning signings, especially with how silly the transfer fees have been this year, you know.
Yeah.
So
no, I think Eddie Howe has a great head on his shoulders, and as a manager, I think he's great to have in the Premier League because you get, you know, your little sound bits from him. You actually get great tactics and you get great play. They're not a team that are going to sit back and, you know, park the bus to the big boy. They're actually going to give them a go, and
they're brave. They're a brave team.
They're lovely to watch. They were lovely to watch as well. Like, it wasn't your typical kind of, no disrespect to Burnley, but like, you know, kind of a newly promoted team or a kind of half championship team already. They, you know, you don't want to go to Burnley because you're just going to be trying to play around 11 players. Whereas Bournemouth, you're always going to get like some sort of end-to-end, you know. Yeah,
at least some aspect of entertainment.
I really, really enjoyed Bournemouth this year, and I would hope for more of them next year. They couldn't get Jack Wilshere to do much, but you know, I think that proves if Wenger can't do it and Eddie Howe can't do it, then I don't know.
Cut your losses, I think. Yeah, but like again, another thing I like about them is that they have been very punchy in their business. Like they've identified who they want, and they've pretty much got them. I don't think they've really missed out on anybody this year, with maybe exception to Damari Gray. I think they probably could be back in for him. You never know, but that's really the only person that comes to mind that they haven't secured yet, and I think that's because that's probably just still up in the air. But they, like, even before the season started or stopped last year, they said they were very heavily linked with Defoe. They took their time with it, didn't panic, and they got him. You know, no one else was really in for him, of course. But like I said, there just is a very calm assurance about the club, about the manager. Obviously, as you were saying, Burkball. But like I said, I just can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see how good they do this season, and I think they are going to be a top half team. I'm just going to give it away straight away. I think we just have to sit back and enjoy them. They're going to be this season's entertainers, I think.
Oh, that's a big call. I don't think I have them quite half top table, but I definitely think they can be challenging. You know, without throwing them off, I would want to say that they're not going to be relegation battlers or anything like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think for me, like, at least from my kind of logic, the big difference in making them such a solid team is Begovic, because I think we said it before about Boric. Like, Boric on his day can be a great goalkeeper, but he's so error prone as well, and he's, at least for someone his age and experience, you'd be expecting more composure from him. And
there's no consistency there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
whereas Begovic was, you know, a stone wall at Stoke, and I always thought it was a poor move for him to go to Chelsea, because at the time there was no way he was going to be challenging for first keeper.
No.
And I just thought it was a strange kind of. I was disappointed in him, even though he played for Stoke and I hate Stoke. But like, rate him as a keeper, so I was sad to see him go and just play kind of second or third fiddle as goalkeeper. Did he even play for Chelsea? I can't even think of a match where he.
Yeah, no, he has played a few games. Courtois, I believe, was out with a good few injuries, actually. Excuse me. He was out for a good few injuries.
Courtois got himself injured quite a number of times, and I think that's the only reason why I think Begovic even has a winner's medal.
Yeah, yeah. Like last season, he would have played enough to get a Premier League medal, and I think the year beforehand was the same thing. I think actually Courtois would have I think Courtois was suspended a few times, which is again how Begovic got his game the previous season. So. Yeah, like I said.
But out of all the new players that are coming to Bournemouth, I'm really looking forward to the 20-year-old from Blackburn that they signed, Conor Mahoney.
Yes, that's one that flew under the radar, alright.
The club have said that he's going to be playing in the under-23s, but from what I've seen of him, he looks good enough the first team already.
Like I said, the parallels to Josh King are not a coincidence, to be honest. Like it's it's a carbon copy deal that they did with Blackburn for him, and then they did it for Mahoney. So I think you're absolutely right. I think we might see him in the first team a bit more, especially since Jordan Ibe has not cut the mustard.
Absolutely. The only thing I see, the only weakness them being kind of their central midfield.
Yeah.
And also they really need to get another right back. Smith tends to go full-blooded into encounters, shall we say? And
it's a nice way of putting it.
If he gets injured, they've really no real right back up.
Yeah.
So I think if they shore up their central midfield, which I think was the whole point of them getting Wiltshire, getting another right back, I think they'll be pretty good. I'll just say it right now. I know we're going to get the predictions at the end, but my prediction for them this season is 10th.
Good. No, that's fine. I mean, like I said, we will come back to that. But like I said, I think 10th is a nice, easy target for them. Especially since a lot of other teams are expecting to do better, much better than they did last season. So, I don't think 10th would be a disaster for them at all.
No.
Yeah.
If I was a Bournemouth fan, I think realistically, I'd be happy with that.
Good. Right then, let's move on then to the next on our list, which is one of the promoted sides, everybody. We're talking about Brighton and Hove Albion. I suppose we have we're might be a bit partial to Brighton this year, considering they're managed by Irish sweetheart Chris Hughton. Not to put so much of such a fine point on it, guys. How do we think Brighton's going to do this year?
I'm not optimistic for them. I don't know. They were. I don't even know. I don't know too much about them. I've never watched the game. I can't, justify giving my opinion on them based on things I've read about them in the paper in the lead up to doing this podcast. What I do know about them is that they have a fairly decent ladies team, but that's not here or there.
Unfortunately, they're not playing in the Premier League. It's the lads that are...
Yet. They've got former Irish skipper Emma Byrne as their keeper, so just that whole Irish connection there, just purely on that, I hope for them to do well, but I'm not very optimistic. All I've really known about them is their transfers in the summer. They've done a lot of deals in order to strengthen their squad, but again, I'm not entirely sure how good or bad they are. They got Izzy Brown from Chelsea on loan from the Chelsea loan farm, and they Izzy Brown would have been one that has been tipped for season after season to finally break into the Chelsea squad. Oh wait, no, on loan. Oh no, this season break into the squad. No, he's on loan again. So
Vetus Arnhem. Excuse me.
But yeah, I think they've done a lot of business. Whether it's good business, I can't tell. But I like Chris as a manager.
Yeah.
I think he's great crack. Again, another manager you're going to get sound bits from. When he was in with Norwich, he was really I loved his post-match interviews on Match of the Day. Where he's pretty much just ripping the teams to shreds, and it was just I'm glad to have him back as a manager.
But he's really honest and upfront. I think is why we like him. He's just there's no agenda or there's no sort of persona there. Chris Hughton's Chris Hughton.
It's not like the media's out to get me. I'm gonna be mean to the media. It's no, we did rubbish. We did not deserve to win that match. We can't go in and play like that and expect to win. Whereas you'd get other managers who are like, oh, the ref is against us. Oh, we're never gonna.
Yeah.
I love Chris Houghton like that, and I really hope they do well. But that's pretty much all I can say about them.
How about yourself, Neil? I think we're all of the same opinion, unfortunately, about Brighton, are we?
I think they're. Funnily enough, I think they are going to land in 20th.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they'll spike. I think somewhere in and around game week 6, they're going to go on a run, and we're all going to go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Their first match is against Manchester City.
Yes, that's not a great start.
you spent more on two fullbacks than they did on their entire very good looking new stadium.
Yeah, that's crazy money, isn't it?
So
it is a lovely stadium, actually. I must say, it's a gorgeous stadium.
It's a gorgeous stadium, but the Southern Rail service to it is apparently absolutely atrocious. And they've not adjusted the rail service. Now that they're in the Premier League and the times to their matches have changed, apparently the rail service haven't changed their times. So that means that most home games will actually be half empty by the time they start.
That's remarkable. Like it's such a British thing as well, isn't it? It's like, oh, we can't change. We've done these times for 35 years and nothing has changed. Even the trains haven't changed.
Yeah, but there's, like, in all fairness, Brighton have everything going for them. They've got an outstanding new stadium. They've got really state-of-the-art training facilities. They're riding the crest of a wave you've never seen before of getting into the Premier League. I think from nowhere to the Premier League is kind of one of their mottos now. And their chairman, Bloom, is a fucking dyed-in-the-wool Brighton fan. You know, I mean, apparently he stands in with the crowd at away matches. You know, good luck seeing fucking Stan Kroenke do fucking that.
Well, he would, but he'd be like holding the beheaded head of a lion or elephant while he's doing it.
He'd be in there with a fucking high-powered rifle or something like that.
Yeah. Hunting poor people for sport.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see them staying up.
But
I do see them going on a nice little run and everybody getting really, really happy.
Yeah, like I said, I think we all kind of share the same opinion about it. Like, the one word I describe Brighton really is honest, and I think that does kind of trickle down from the manager. From the clips, from the stuff I've seen about Brighton, is that again they play really good football, and it's like what happened with Norwich when Houghton was up with them last time he was in the Premier League. They play, like, even then they play with the quality of football, considering the team they have is very, very good. And the signings they've made are not as many as I thought they would make, because quite frankly you'd have to, nowadays if you're going to the Premier League, you have to more or less sign a player per position if you want to even consider survival. They signed a new goalkeeper because David Stockdale left, an Australian number one, Matthew Ryan, who's very good. I've seen him play for Valencia and Genk, I believe. He's very good, so that's why I have him in the fantasy football team, just in case. Even today they've just signed Davy Proper from PSV, and a lot of their work has been in central midfield, so that's good. Otherwise they've been signing a lot of like journeymen from the Bundesliga and stuff, and as Burkball was saying, Izzy Brown. I still think they need more.
Well, they need more than Glenn Murray anyway.
Yeah, that I was about to say, actually. They could do with another striker, quite frankly.
Although, funnily enough, Glenn Murray did go on record saying that winning promotion with Brighton was far more fun than it was winning at Palace.
That's throwing shots straight away, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah, but they've two main kind of standout players. One is the hilariously named Lewis Dunk.
Yes. He's a great player.
25-year-old, and people are just earmarking him as like a future England defender.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is their superstar genius striker, Anthony Knockert.
Yes, who was formerly of Leicester, if everyone remembers the Nidge era of Leicester. And he fucked off to Belgium, I believe, before he came back. So, yeah, like I said, there are some decent individual players there, but like I said, there's this whole the full team might not just be enough to survive, especially nowadays with even the mid-table is so bloated now. Like it's very hard to say if one team from there has a disastrous season and can get relegated. You know, it's happened before and it could happen again.
Absolutely. I think the only thing is that none of us have really kind of seen enough of them to make anything. But in all fairness, I don't think they'll stay up. But if they do, nobody will be happier than me.
Yeah. No, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see them kind of like in a way how Middlesbrough are doing this year, because like Middlesbrough, we thought that okay, with the signings they made, they should stay up and they were playing decent football. Then they forgot how football works and that scoring is very integral to winning games. So what happened then was like the team now, like in the Championship, I think is far better than it was when they got up to the fucking Premier League. So it could be that thing that where Brighton will get this kind of like windfall from being in the Premier League, may get relegated, but they'll come back next year with a much better squad and a much more experienced squad. You never know. It could be a long-term game they're playing, but like I said, I personally don't see them surviving. But at least they give them a good fucking fight for it,
And just one last point on them. I like their jersey.
It is a nice jersey.
Nice.
It is a nice jersey. Yeah, I must say.
Actually, one final point. Their back four is the back four surnames are Bruno, Dunk, Duffy and Bong, which sounds like early 90s drum and bass collective.
That actually sounds like a Kraftwerk album, actually, doesn't it?
Bruno, Dunk, Duffy, Bong. Bruno, Dunk, Duffy, Bong.
Oh, brilliant.
I love it.
Anyway, move on.
That's actually pretty good.
Izzy.
Izzy, march, tell. Gross. Right, let's move on then to, I believe, is Burnley. Burnley. I think I don't know how, but they've somehow supplanted Preston and Stoke City to be the hotbed of Irish football. I don't know how they've done it, but they've pretty much signed half the Irish team. Because Johnny Walters is now in the Clarinets, along with Brady, Hendrick, Ward. How is he still employed? And several others who I can't remember. But again, they've had a quiet-ish summer, but they've signed really decent players. They've signed Jack Cork, they've signed Charlie Taylor. They're in for one or two players as well. But how do we see Burnley doing? Like it's I think it's a tough call for them, considering they've lost Michael Keane.
And they've also lost the great Joey Barton as well.
Yeah, they bet on the wrong horse there, didn't they?
Yeah, no.
You get trampled by a horse.
God, I could only wish.
Yeah, no. The Irish contingent of Burnley would make my heart say, "Oh, they're gonna do okay," but realistically, Ireland's team is made up of championship players, so I can see them getting relegated this year.
Okay, all right. Neil, how about you?
Yeah, I think I kind of have to agree. I mean, like, what did they finish at?
They would have finished 17th. 16th, thank you. 16th last season.
You know, I mean, yeah, I don't see it with that team. I just don't. I mean, Cork and Walters have played probably, about 400 something games between them, and they probably won't let anybody down, but they're just not. They're not going to keep them up, like, especially when everybody else is going so gung ho. And also, yeah, having lost Michael Keane, they've not actually replaced him.
No, that's true.
I can't even see them getting anyone at this stage. Like, I think they got Phil Bardsley, was it?
Yeah, but he doesn't really count.
I don't know. Jack Cork had his days at Swansea. He's very hit and miss. Johnson Walters does a great job in an Irish jersey. Can't fault him. But you know, it was always kind of a stalwart. One of my first picks in fantasy football, because he was always guaranteed to get an assist or get a goal. If Stoke did something, Walters was usually involved. So maybe he could continue on that form this year. But I don't know. But like, it looks, with the signings of Walters and Bardsley, are they just making Stoke version 2?
Yeah, this is the remnants of Pulisian Stoke. They just basically relocated. We're actually going to rename Burnley New Stoke. That's what that is.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna just edit that now.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I think it's safe. I mean, a lot of like the hope you have for Burnley is based in the manager. I think like Dyche is like, with the squad he has, is very much punching against above his weight, and we saw that with like the whole season was based around their home form and how fantastic it was. Can they replicate it this season though? That's the question. It's another thing where like people might figure Burnley out, or like I said, everyone's a year older now, so the physical demands that they had at home and like running around and pressing and stuff, that takes a toll. You know, at least they have signed and the players they have signed, more or less, with exception to Taylor, they're all like not necessarily, they're not young like spring chickens. Like Walters puts in a shift, Bardsley is in his mid-30s, Jack Cork is not exactly a box-to-box player either. So, like in terms of energy, you think they would have got somebody in, and as to Neil's point, there is no replacement for Michael Keane yet. They haven't spent that war chest yet. So, you know, I could be wrong. They might very well get someone in to replace him. But like I said,
they did get a fair amount. They did get a fair amount of money for him. I believe he got 25 million. off Everton for him, which is, I think, the approximate cost of one of Neymar's testicles.
Left. No, I calculated it. It's his second right toe.
Second right bollock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see them really staying up. It's definitely, and the thing is, I don't see it ever not looking like they're not going to struggle. It's going to be another difficult season.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. Speaking of difficult seasons, little bit of foreshadowing. Chelsea. It has been an interesting summer and pre-season for the defending champions. A lot of upheaval, a lot of players departing, a lot of the Lone Farm rebelling. You know, the likes of.
That's a small fucking army there, pal. They could rebel and take over a country, let alone a fucking football.
I think they have actually occupied the city of Vitesse, I think, or Arnhem. I beg your pardon. But I mean, let's talk about it. Like, first of all, I think the big thing to talk about is the departures. I mean, there's a lot of prominent senior players. Matich gone to Manchester United for big money. John Terry.
Stupid move selling Matic to them.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I saw. Now I know we're gonna talk about all of their transfer dealing. But of all of them, that one made the least amount of sense to me. I'm like, alright then, fine. If you want to flog Matic, that's cool. Do not flog him to Manchester United.
Yeah, I think
he is exactly the player that they need.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
I just didn't get that. I looked at that. Huh?
Yeah, because like it is a kind of thing, really, isn't it? I understand that they've offered him. They did like pay 40 million for a player who is quite old, who doesn't have that much market value, but you're still just strengthening your nearest championship rival at the same token. Like it is just looking at the cash money as opposed to the actual common sense, you know.
Yeah, they fucking need it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like I said, what money are they trying to recoup is the question. It is a baffling decision, all right. Obviously, John Terry, the captain, leader, racist, legend, whatever they want to call him now. Sexist, that's another one.
Full suit wanker.
Full kit wanker, thank you very much. Any takers? Anyone else? Anyone for John Terry?
Probably the only actual football player to be called a full kit wanker.
Yep, okay, we'll take that. That's a bit long-winded, but we'll take that. And of course, the outgoing, supposedly, Diego Costa. He's still technically at the club, but he is very much not there anymore, considering he got dumped by text.
He's there purely physically, not spiritually. In fact, he's barely even there physically.
Yeah, he's contractually obliged to be there.
Yeah. He's only there so he doesn't get fined.
Pretty much. And like I said, hypothetically, Chelsea have replaced those players. I mean, Begovic was replaced by Caballero. Matic was replaced by Bakayoko. Terry was replaced by Rudiger, and Diego Costa will be replaced by Morata. But is it fair to say that Chelsea are in trouble this year?
Yeah.
They don't have as much depth as you'd expect a big club to have at this point of the season. Now, I know there's 20-something days left in the transfer window and anything can happen. But there was, a thing going around on Twitter there it was a picture of the team sheets in the Charity Shield match. And it was like literally a bare minimum squad of 15. And whereas Arsenal, I think every player that's ever signed a professional contract with them was named in Ireland.
I was wondering why Tony Adams was there.
Yeah, Dixon, Campbell. It was. And that kind of shocked me because I was kind of looking at a couple of injuries in there, or a last minute transfer out, and they don't have a whole lot. Now this is with a few days to go, so and with Chelsea, being the money bank that they are, will probably go ahead and buy everyone before the next podcast or whatever. But it just seems that they're leaving things late to do squad building as opposed to buying first team strikers or whatever. But just looking at what they've gotten rid of, I know we're going to go into more depth in the transfer, but they've got Cuadrado, Atsu, Begovic, Solanke, Kiwama, Traore, Dabo, Ake, Abram, Palmer, Kane, Colquitt, Aina, Loftus-Cheek, Chalobah, Ginkel, Ugbo. That's a great name.
Yeah.
You're just making half these up, aren't you? You're just going Ginkel, Ugbo, Kebelubali,
Bong, Bruno, Dunk.
Insane. Like, this list is insane. Zuma, Mount, Brown, Callas, Hector, Blackman, Miyazaga, Angban, Matic, and Pasalic. Like, I hadn't heard of most of those names until I looked at the logo.
In fairness, Burkbot, neither has Abramovich.
What was that?
Yeah, I said, in fairness, neither has Abramovich.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, the amount of those, and like maybe 5 of them were sold, the rest of them are part of the loan farm.
Yeah.
But I think if you're looking at a squad, any of those players that have been, like Kurt Zuma has kind of been around the block in terms of loans, and he got a couple of games there a few seasons ago with them, and he's loaned out. But like, he could easily fit into that squad.
Yeah.
People like Izzy Brown, as I said, has been kind of mentioned season after season that this is his season to break in, but it hasn't happened. But like, there's so many going out on loan, and there doesn't seem to be that depth. It just worries me that they're just going to go out and spend hundreds of millions on building a squad, and then all of these loan players are just going to, wither away.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. To be honest, I'll actually go back to that the Community Shield game. I pretty much, outside of Bakayoko and Morata, I didn't know who the fuck their bench was. And I knew they had Hazard and a couple of the others out. And I was like, that's absolutely the thinnest squad I can remember. And they're going into the this current league campaign with a ridiculously thin squad, and they're pushing their fucking luck.
Yeah.
Costa's gone. Morata isn't the same type of player. He's just not. And also, they're heavily reliant on who was essentially somebody who was essentially a Real Madrid bench warmer.
Yes, that's true.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not like a great player. I'm fairly certain he's shit hot and he's in my fantasy football team. But I don't think he's going to win their league. Everybody's a year older as well. In the Community Shield game, Victor Moses looked quite off of it. It's just I don't understand what they're going to do. They've got a real feast and famine approach to their transfers, and I think it's going to bite them on the ass.
Yeah. I mean, I think you again. Both of you kind of nailed it in terms of what's really wrong with Chelsea, and the key thing that we've been talking about there has been departures, and quite frankly, we say this about Chelsea all the time, and it's really endemic. It's really a problem when it comes to continuity and stability. But the biggest departure is still yet to come, in my opinion, and that's Antonio Conte. There have been so many rumblings, that Conte is not happy at Chelsea. And the reason is, supposedly, the logic here is that Conte wants to bring in these young players into the squad. He's seeing this year as a potential transition for the likes of Solanke, who is obviously gone, Zuma, Loftus-Cheek in particular, and a few others like Palmer and Brown, who they've all systematically gone out on loan.
Weren't Chalobah and Ake really highly rated as well, and that Boga, the Jerome Boga? Yeah, a lot of those players
that Burtbot have mentioned have left, where I think, and this is probably would explain the lack of squad depth, I would believe that Conte was banking on keeping those players for the season. Like, I think he wanted to, like, it explains when you look how like shallow their midfield is. I think he was banking on the likes of Palmer, Boga being one of them, and especially Loftus-Cheek being in the squad for the season. But as we know, like, historically, Chelsea don't have a youth policy. They don't do that. They don't give their youth players a chance, and if it is, it's purely by accident. Like, can you name me one like youth player who's in the first team by design? Like, I can't name anybody offhand really. I'm genuinely struggling to find a Chelsea homegrown player that's in the first team. No,
it was Terry, wasn't it? Up until
pretty much, yeah. It was John Terry and Lampard. That's it, and that's pretty much before the youth policy, or sorry, before the Abramovich takeover. And the most frustrating part about this is they do have players that can go into that team right now, put in a shift and quite frankly be better than who's there right now. Anders Christensen, I think, is a massive fucking waste of potential at the moment, because he led the defense for Mönchengladbach last season in the Bundesliga and was phenomenal. He's highly rated. He's like, his market value is through the roof because of his performances, but he's not considered at all. And this is the baffling thing. Why would you go and like sign someone like Rudiger when you already had a ready-made replacement for John Terry in Christensen, who has not just done fucking Vitus Arnhem loans, he's gone to German teams and like established himself in those squads. It's baffling to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's baffling to Conte as well, because he's trying to understand why Chelsea are so ruthless, almost to a fault, that they won't let any youth have a chance. But they're happy to just keep signing players and selling players and signing players and sacking managers and getting new ones in, just for the sake of trophies or just for the sake of short-term gains. Either way, I think Conte is very disillusioned at Chelsea, and I would not be surprised at all if he resigned this year.
Oh.
I'm genuinely saying like he will be one of the major departures this year from the season. Like I said, it's not a coincidence that the likes of Thomas Tuchel and Luis Enrique are still on the managerial market. I think Chelsea will be looking at one of them for short-term gain and get rid of Conte, who's quite frankly complaining too much for his own good, as Abramovich would say.
Very interesting.
It is.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, but I don't think he'll be the first managerial casualty of this season.
No, I would say there's one or two higher on that list, but I think he's certainly going to be one of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've got an ominous feeling when I'm talking about Chelsea, and seeing like performances like the Community Shield and the pre-season, just they're clicking a little bit, but the new signings are betting in, but it's just the lack of squad depth. They're gonna get caught out in certain instances, and I think people will be just wise to the system now. Much like how people were wise to Leicester last year. So the football is evolving in a sense that they've had a summer now to look at Chelsea's system and go, okay, how can we fix that? How can we like destroy that system that everyone else has now adopted? Again, this is my personal views, but I don't see a good season for Chelsea. They might do well in a competition, and maybe like they might win the League Cup, or they might do well in the Champions League. But Premier League, I think they're going to really struggle for consistency, and that's more or less because there's malaise first of all in the team, thanks to like bad apples like Costa, and also in the back room as well, because Conte is clearly not happy.
Yeah, it's it's tough to kind of to judge what they're going to be like, because I do feel that they're going to pull out some, one or two or three even big signings before the end of the window, because I think they will have, Conte will have looked at the squad and said there's not enough depth there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've hit puddles
he's
on
just
my
going to go to Abramovich, and Abramovich is going to open up the checkbook and go, yeah, there you go.
But this is the thing, they've missed out on big signings already this summer. Like, they've missed out on Lukaku, and you can kind of talk about how Morata was always their number one target. He fucking wasn't. Lukaku was number one for sure, and they've missed out on Alexandro, and they're not really in the race for Virgil van Dijk either. Like nearly in every race for those kind of players, they have been like number 2 or 3, and that's really insulting for who's supposed to be the Premier League champions. This is what has me really confused about what exactly are they doing?
Exactly.
And what does Conte want?
All their new signings have been replacements, not backups.
Exactly, and that's the problem.
And so, as I said there earlier, I've hit puddles with more depth in the squad. Like I said before, they're going to be a difficult one to figure out. But if they don't do anything about the squad depth, coming into a congested, with midweek fixtures and a congested Christmas, I see a raft of injuries. Now, they didn't suffer a lot of injuries last season, but I see a raft of injuries absolutely decimating that team.
Well, this is the
thing.
I
see them maybe dipping in hard in the January window.
Well, like I said, I think by that stage, I think there'll be someone new in charge, and they'll be wanting their own players in as well. I'm genuinely convinced it's going to happen. I really, really am. I mean, it's not a coincidence that Conte is on 2 different occasions when they were riding high, before they won the title and afterwards. there was rumblings that Conte was like looking elsewhere. Like it can't. It's not just like fucking talk from the media. There is something going on behind the scenes, and it's being reflected in their really poor recruitment. It has to be said. As you said, Neil, it's not for backup. It's not for like reinforcement. It's replacements. And Matic is a really telling one there. Like they're happy to sell to a championship rival, who, let's face it, is going to like galvanize that team like they wouldn't believe, and they're happy to just say, okay, no, we'll just sign someone else and go on our way. Like, what is the plan from Chelsea? Because the plan looks like setting up Conte for a fall. That's pretty much it.
That could be it again. Like, that whole thing of don't help out the manager and then blame the manager when it all goes tits up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Very well. So I guess in a way we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Chelsea do have an interesting start to the season. Like if I'm at least predicting the shambles that I'm talking about here. I mean, they've got a decent start against Burnley, but then they've got generally tough games like Spurs, Everton, Leicester, Arsenal. New Stoke, beg your pardon. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry for confusing everyone there. New Stoke, home game against New Stoke, and then Spurs, Everton, Leicester and Arsenal, and Stoke Alona. So, and then Man City afterwards as well. So they're facing a lot of really tough teams, and teams I think they're in a better stead than them at the moment.
Hang on, wait a minute. See, this is how we have a Stoke Alona. Why don't we call them Real Stoke?
Oh. No, I think that's just that's the thing that's an insult to Real Madrid, I think, to be honest with you. But yeah,
the Real Madrid.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, I'm not optimistic. I really am not. So yeah, let's move on then before we start giving out again about Roman Abramovich. Crystal Palace, everybody. Woo! New look Crystal Palace with Frank de Boer in charge. No more Pardiola, as he likes to be called. How do we think Crystal Palace are going to do? Because they've been actually really quiet this summer.
I've actually no real idea. But if I was a Palace fan, I would my IQ would be half what it is now.
Nice job there.
Also, I would be quietly optimistic. Jesus! I suppose if I was going to say one thing about Palace, if it all clicks for them, then they're going to be brilliant. De Boer's pushing a 3-4-3. The last time they tried that, which was under Pardiola, it did not go very well.
No, I remember some sort of 6-5 result with Swansea didn't go their way.
Pretty much. But when it comes to their key players, all of their key players are pretty much on top form. Zaha has just been killing it in the pre-season. They bought some really strong guy from fucking Ajax.
Riedwald.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
They're planning on buying. The Chamber Cantrell Katz is planning on going there as well.
Yep.
If rumours have believed, and he'll make a serious difference there. If they sign another keeper as well, because I don't think Hennessy's filling them with too much confidence.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just really it's a good.
Yeah, like
to be honest with you, the thing is that they're progressing, but there's always a risk in progressing.
Yeah, like I said, it's when you look at it on the face of it, it is just a very good squad they have, especially up front. I mean, as you were saying, Neil, they're definitely intending to go for a front three, which is like a really exciting Zaha, Benteke, and Townsend combination. They don't have that much like in depth strike wise, but those three on their own are very, very promising.
And see, the thing is, I'm worried about that 3-4-3 not suiting Benteke.
That's the thing. It does require a lot more movement from him, doesn't it? Like he needs to be a united front with the two lads.
He's their chief goal source.
Yes.
So if he ain't scoring, they ain't scoring.
True. And I think, sorry, go on ahead, Bert. What?
Yeah, no, I was just kind of agreeing with the formation needs to be key to get the best out of Benteke, but if they could have someone else, if they were to get like a really kind of pacey, young lad or somewhere, that could be another option coming off the bench. If the long ball up to Benteke isn't working, I think someone in behind could do a good job like that. They did get Loftus-Cheek, which I think is my favourite name. I know Dunk might be up there as well, but Loftus-Cheek is one of my favourite names in the Premier League, from the Chelsea loan firm. And I've heard good things about this chap, so I think they've done well kind of securing his signature for the season.
Yeah, they've also got a Fosu Mensah from United as well. So he's more or less in the door as well. So he's like a defensive midfielder and a fullback. So another good signing there as well.
And then they got rid of Mandela because they got sense. But that's so far. There was a thing on the news today that the Crystal Palace chairperson was facing a bid to buy the club by a consortium of.
Oh yes, I remember this.
Run by Tony Adams, led by Tony Adams.
That's right. Christ.
That would be a weird one, but I don't see them doing too bad. Like last season, likes of Kabay in midfield, you're always gonna get something. Zaha out in the wing has that pace, and it could work out. It could work out. I'm where do I have them in my list? I have them top half.
Okay, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting.
I was saying they definitely finished higher than the 14th that they finished this season. I'd go in and around about maybe 11. Because it all depends pretty much on. Funnily enough, it doesn't really depend a lot on the players, although they have some good players. So it depends on the board. And he, for all of his, give him credit, he knows that it's hard work, and he is approaching it with a semblance of level-headedness. I mean, I think he said that if he just simply walked into the training centre and imposed Ajax's approach overnight, it'd be pretty much footballing suicide. But he seems to be fairly confident. He commented again, he goes, at Ajax my team always conceded the fewest goals. I'm good at coaching that. So he seems to be, while we look at a 3-4-3 as a kind of bombastic all-out attack, throw caution to the wind kind of formation, for him it suits him defensively, which is really odd. And it'll be interesting to see what. I'll be interested in Palace more so than I have been in previous seasons.
That's actually one of the things I kind of noticed, because I kind of keep forgetting they're a Premiership team. Last season I kept forgetting Watford were a team.
That's true.
Forgot. I think you can look back at previous podcasts.
I think nearly every time you've been on the podcast you forget that Watford are a thing.
Whereas I forgot they were a club, but in general, or place, or whatever they are, nationwide. But I actually keep forgetting Palace are in the Premier League, because they were kind of just they're kind of up and down. Or are they in the Championship this season? Are they in the Premier League this season? I can't remember. And then Crystal Pardew became a thing, and I took a bit of notice, but then it's Pardew, and I can't take him to
kiss my face.
Strong enough for that.
Kiss my face.
Frank, my dad would be quite an Ajax supporter. They'd be his second, his kind of European team. If Arsenal aren't doing Europe, Ajax. So, he kind of, when he saw the Boer had gone over to Crystal Palace, he was delighted. He was like, he might bring across a couple of Ajax players and, kind of get a decent kind of defensive squad, which is where my dad's words. So, because one of the things is they've got Hennessy in goal, and they've got a couple of weakly links in defence, and I think if they can shore that up, I definitely can see them, getting into the top.
Absolutely. I'll say, I'll actually kind of further that. There's on the rumour mill that they're in for Adrian from West Ham.
Oh, okay.
And I think, if they don't get him, 11th, 12th. If they do get Adrian, I'd say 8th, 9th.
That's a good show. I think the way I kind of see Crystal Palace is, like I said, I think they got a real coup with Frank de Boer as the manager. First off, I don't think Crystal Palace have really had such a very kind of intrepid manager like him. Like when you really kind of like think about, well, no,
by intrepid you mean knows what he's doing.
It is not necessarily, but like at least someone who is like has a vested interest in improving the quality of football. Like Pardew, you know what you're gonna get. With Sam Allardyce, you absolutely know what you're gonna get. And somehow every year Neil Warnock finds himself in the job. I don't know how. I presume he's been sucking off Simon Jordan every day. I don't know. I don't question these methods. But the thing is, I think there is a genuine interest and a desire from the board to change Crystal Palace into somewhere where you go to Selhurst Park and you see a really good football game, like you've seen with like Ajax and Inter Milan when he was at those positions. Whether he has the personnel for it, I think, is not necessarily an issue, because I think probably over the season you'll probably see a lot of the young players kind of come in. Now I don't know anything about Crystal Palace young players, but I'm sure like they'll secure a few loans, might recruit a few people. But the one thing about De Boer is that he's always had a youth policy, and that's why AFC Ajax are the like phenomenal youth academy that they are. I think the only time it didn't work actually was with Inter Milan, and that's because they don't have a youth policy. They're like the whole Serie A is more or less like a massive Chelsea, quite frankly. But I think like a few things that are in his ethos is a really strong home form, which again is quite standard for Crystal Palace. Trying to improve that quality of football, possession based stuff, talent. Trying to get the kind of balance between grit and talent that Pardew was trying to do, but didn't realise that he didn't have either of them, which is a shame. But and obviously having that sort of youth policy of like encouraging youth players. They still have some good youth players there, like Zaha is 24. I think Townsend is not too far away either, and Benteke is a young lad as well. So like I said, they do have some youth there. It's trying to develop them, and again turning a profit, because quite frankly Palace wouldn't mind turning a profit, especially with these kind of players. So I think the big thing is like it depends. Like a lot of you were saying there about goalkeeping, and I think that's certainly one area they can improve on. But I think their success could be dependent on if they get Mamadou Sakho back. I don't like I said last year that I wouldn't think they would fork out the money for Benteke, but they did. I don't know if they're going to do the same for Sakho this year, which is like 30 million plus. I'd be intrigued if they do, and I think if they were to somehow acquire him in the summer, then Crystal Palace are going to be a very strong team. Personally, I don't think they will, because I think Liverpool will be looking to send him off abroad as opposed to back in the league where he could fucking haunt us. So I think in that sense, that's where my prediction is based on. If they were to get Mamadou Sakho though, then this is a very strong team. At the moment, they are a solid mid-table team with license to improve. That's the way I see them.
Yeah. I think that's a good recap.
Okay.
Yep, pretty much.
Right, Everton then, lads. Let's get on with it. It's fair to say there has been a lot of change at Everton. New goalkeeper, new centre-back, new full-back, two new midfielders, one new striker, and some fella called Wayne Rooney. Has anyone heard of him?
I think he's a Granny Shagger, isn't he?
I've heard something like that.
Yeah, he's what happens.
Granny Shagger.
Yeah, he's what happens when you plant potatoes too near a Sellafield nuclear plant.
He's actually the three-eyed fish from The Simpsons. That's what he is.
Yeah.
So, yes, I mean, there has been a lot of change at Everton, to say the least, and pretty much because I think Ronald Koeman realised that there is so much inertia at Everton that quite frankly he needed to like literally grab people from the club and throw them out physically himself. Very aggressive in the summer in terms of recruitment. Signed some great players, it has to be said, and are still in the market for it. One massive departure though, that being Lukaku for big money as well. With all the changes they've had though, do we really see them improving on 7th place or making an impression on the top 6?
No.
But I see the team has definitely improved to the point where I can't really see them having much of a huge weak link. They now have a top quality goalkeeper, they have a decent centre halves, they have good midfield, they have a good striker. Everything's actually looking better than it was this time last season, and the window still has time to go for it. But no, I don't see them getting higher than 7th.
Yeah, you see, this the kind of problem they have because, like I said, they do have new owners and they are very ambitious. They want to break into that top echelon, but like I said, there is that inherent inertia of being outside of that top bracket of clubs. It's very hard to break that.
Inertia being Everton.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to be generous here, Neil. Leave me alone. I mean, the thing is, like,
it's Everton. Fuck them.
The thing is, like, they have been so aggressive with the recruitment, but surely they realise they can only be 7th. This is what I'm having trouble grasping from them. Like, how far can they achieve? Like, it isn't like seasons past where Everton were able to go 6th place and so forth. Like, the top 6 is like bolted down firmly, unless there's a crazy capitulation from one or two teams. Like, they can only be 7th. I keep driving this home, but how many players do you have to sign to reinforce the fact that you're going to keep the same league position? You might close the gap, but what else are you going to do? This is the kind of problem I'm having.
I think the way things can go for Everton is that these signings can all click and they can go on this great run.
Mm-hmm.
They can challenge the top 6, but that's a big if they can all click, and that's a big if that the other teams around them aren't picking up speed as well. I do think the signings that they have made are decent ones, and that maybe given a season or two with a couple of more reinforcements coming in, they could do it. I think this is more of a long-term target for them rather than instant success. Chelsea signing it. I know they've got Wayne Rooney in as a replacement for Lukaku, which
it's not exactly a replacement, is it? The replacement by base definition.
But I think it is a bit of a nice story, I suppose, to go back to your boyhood club after you've won everything else that you can.
True,
and
yeah.
other trophies and stuff.
But it is
Everton are inherently a boring team, and I think with the exception of Klassen, I don't really rate very highly as exciting players. Anyone else? The Michael Keane from Burnley, is that their most expensive one so far, and he's just a Burnley defender.
I believe Pickford might be the most expensive in the long run, but I think you might be right though. I think up front, I think Keane was most expensive.
I think other than not Klassen, it'll be Pickford. I'd be looking more forward to seeing how he performs in that Everton squad.
Yeah.
But that's just solely because of me,
Yeah. Like I said, I will say there are avenues for Everton. I think if I was Ronald Koeman, I would abandon any kind of hope of achieving a solid league position, because as I said, the best and I think worst they can achieve is 7th place, but they are in the Europa League, and they are in. I
was about to say go on a cup run.
Yeah, like I said, Europa League is a perfect opportunity for them.
They've gotten rid of a couple of deadwood players like Tom Cleverley, who's I don't know where he's off to.
Watford. He was on loan with them last season.
What?
He was
where?
Udinese? No. Anyway.
But they've also got rid of McGeady. He's gone to Sunderland. So
and Delafeu.
Delafeu off to Barca. What? They can have anyone and they go for him. I know he's from Barcelona originally, but he didn't exactly light up Everton. That was a weird one, but they've gotten rid of. I'm just kind of looking at their transfer out, and it's not as big as Chelsea's, but they've got quite a lot gone.
Yeah, and there's still more to come. Really, Barkley's definitely on the way out, and let's hope that James McCarthy leaves as well. So.
There are talks that they're into for Welshit, which I would gladly take.
Bertball, is it not true though, because of the same reports that are saying they're in for Olivier Giroud, that you're more than happy to sacrifice Welbeck and keep Giroud? Is that not true?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, no, like, but I hate Welsh shit. Even if it was a toss-up between the greatest striker the Premier League has ever seen in Giroud or him.
Slightly biased there.
I know, I'm well aware Giroud's not the greatest, but he's the best looking, and I think
he's certainly one of the most underrated.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think as a style, if they were to keep Lukaku, I don't know how the new signings would have fitted around him.
Yeah.
And if they wanted just a repetition of last season's style, they could go for Giroud. He'd be definitely more Lukaku style than Welbeck. But I think with the signings that they've made, they are going for a more speedy kind of counter-attacking football. And Welsh could do well. He's not going to score goals because he can't do that. But
he could play more. He could play someone else in. Like, he could maybe improve Rooney's game or Sandro's game. It's hard to say. Like, he could be a good secondary striker. You know,
a Manchester United supporting friend of mine used to call Welbeck everything but the goal.
Yeah, that actually epitomises him very well. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
Right, enough talk about Everton then. Let's move on to another promoted team, Huddersfield Town.
I'm going to start off with these guys, that their jersey is probably the best jersey in the Premiership this year.
Ooh, it's a toss-up. I mean, I'll say which team I think is the best jersey, but Huddersfield is a nice one, I'll admit. It is a very nice jersey. Very different as well, actually, to everyone else, because I think they have completely different kit suppliers. So it's actually not like the same fucking copy and paste Nike shit or Puma shit. Like, at least it's something unique, Yeah. But yes, Huddersfield Town obviously promoted from the playoffs, and we were saying actually just before we finished off the podcast last time we were here that in order for them to survive, they would pretty much have to sign a whole new team, and they have. They've signed. One goalkeeper, one centre back, one full left back, two defensive midfielders, one right winger, and two strikers. I think probably the main kind of like I say, we're not going to go through all the signings today, but I suppose the main standout ones there would be Mooney from Montpellier. He's a new striker. Tom Ince from Derby, I think, is a real fucking steal from there for the money he got in. And Aaron Moy, who was their captain last year on loan from Man City, and they got him on a permanent deal. Some solid business from Huddersfield, I'll be honest, but I still don't think it's going to be enough.
No, I don't. Their goal was to get into the playoffs, and then they ended up getting into the Premiership.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of I'm going to root for them in every game that they're playing in, other than Arsenal. These are probably even more so than Brighton. I suppose Brighton from the Irish point of view, and then Huddersfield just from the good story, good local boys doing well.
Plucky underdogs, Roy the Rovers, jumpers for goalposts, all that shit. And
two very nice jerseys coming into the Premier League, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going. I didn't watch the Championship. I don't watch the Championship, so I can't say what they're like as a team. They're hard workers, and the signing of Aaron Moy on a permanent deal. When you get someone from Man City, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get someone who has potential to do good stuff.
Yeah.
And that's, they've got another Chelsea loan farm.
Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh, they got Palmer. Yes, that's right. I knew I forgot somebody in that.
So they're doing business, and whether it'll be enough, I don't think so. But
yeah, you can't fault them for trying. In fairness, because like I said, they did exactly what we said they needed to do, which was to recruit very aggressively, and they've just more or less got themselves a new team. Like I said, and they kind of had to as well, considering that most of their star players last year were all on loan. So it is a monumental achievement to have them even in the Premier League alone, which again is because of such a big step up in quality they needed. The recruitment is good, but it's still not at the level that they're going to get. And I think even still, no matter they signed world class players on fucking bargain deals, it was always going to be a struggle to get that sort of quality in the door. from what I've seen from them, they play a decent level of football. You know, they're what I would call like a Klopp light kind of team, because obviously the manager is a former Dortmund assistant coach himself, but they really struggle for goals in the championship. I think they're the only team in the championship's history to be promoted with a negative goal difference, which is fucking remarkable. Like, it's something that should not happen in maths, quite frankly. But here we are, and they are a Premier League team. So they're already like fighting upstream in terms of like the teams that they face. Like, in fairness, they have a decent start. They have like Palace, Newcastle, Southampton, West Ham. They're not impossible like games. They are winnable if they play well and if they perform well. But there are like certain sections of the calendar where they're gonna plummet. So this is where they have to be mindful. I hope the best for them, but really it's such a big jump for them from where they are. It's very hard to say if they're going to survive.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you consider that the team have practically no Premier League experience.
Yeah.
They're also going into this season with a new goalkeeper. Goalkeeper watch. They got a loanee from Mainz, Jonas Lossel. And he's adapted. They're hoping that he'll adapt to the Premier League quicker than his other teammate, who was a man called Loris Karius.
Yes, indeed he was. I remember him very well.
Indeed, and also another Liverpool kind of connection is that Wagner was unable to persuade his good buddy old pal Klopp to let Danny Ward leave Anfield again, because he was their goalkeeper last season.
And he was stellar for them, by the way. He was one of their star players.
He was stellar for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if between now and the end of the transfer season, Wagner gets in another keeper. Yeah, it's interesting. It's weird. To be honest with you, I have no real idea about the whole team, and it's only because of his surname that I'm even interested in seeing how Tom Ince does.
Yeah.
If he had a different surname, I probably wouldn't be half as interested.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they're gonna go down.
I have them not surviving.
I think you're all well. In fairness, I want them to do well, but I think we're already wanting them to do well because of the surname Elias Kashunga, who is in the team. He is there. He's a permanent deal. So you can look forward to that for your silly name list for this year. I mean, you've got Bong and Dunk for Brighton, Kashunga, Loftus Cheek. Like, it's a great year for silly names.
Kashunga sounds like something you say when you sneeze.
Kashunga.
See, it works.
It actually really does.
I hope he scores a goal so that the audio clip will be Kashunga.
I swear you'll never sneeze like this ever again. Right.
Drink it in. Ew.
Right, Leicester City. Let's get on with them. The former Premier League champions, Leicester City. That is a fucking phrase to say. Right, they have had a interesting summer. They've recruited in a decent way. You know, Harry Maguire, solid signing. Vicente Iborra, another solid signing. Kelechi Iheanacho, I think, fucking brilliant deal as well. But they are still on the back foot somewhat with players going out. It looks like they've got Danny Drinkwater potentially being courted by Chelsea. Riyad Mahrez looks more or less done, whether he goes to Roma or not.
Hang on, wait a minute. Chelsea are in for Drinkwater?
Yeah. Apparently Conte is a big fan of him.
They've got 185 million players out on loan and they're still in for Danny fucking Drinkwater.
Chelsea, Neil. It's Chelsea.
Oh.
Chelsea. They've still got a lot of deadwood. They're really apparently they have 5 or 6 players they want to shift off, like Slimani, Musa. Who else can I think of?
Slimani just hasn't worked out for them at
no.
all. You know.
I look, and these are a lot of Damari Gray was another one I was thinking of. Again, there are a lot of players that were signings from last season that they just tanked straight away, did not settle in. Napolis Mendy, unfortunately, it is not the sound of Napolis, and he's out the door as well. They are a team in interim, but at least in this sense, their pressure is off them in terms of last season, like defending the title and all. So, how do we see Leicester doing? I think it's going to be a very kind of quiet season for them because obviously I think their superstardom is gone. They are now just a solid Premier League side, and we'll be hoping to build on that.
Yeah, I think Ian Echo is probably their best signing there so far. They can get rid of the Deadwood, make a little bit of money off them, and then maybe one or two signings. And I don't see them. I have them in the top half of the table, but only just.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
I'm not overly optimistic for watching them. They were great to watch, and you had the Barley parties and the Mares linking up like that. It was a great season when they were playing that well. But last season, they pretty much did awful up until the second half of the season, and they kind of kicked it on. But they were such a nice story. You don't want them to crash out. So I'm optimistic that they can actually do a good bit of work and kind of become a Southampton, where they play decent football and teams don't like going there, but can kind of settle themselves in as a mid-table kind of supply chain for the big teams for players.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't see them improving on what did he finish 12th?
Yes, 12th.
Yeah, I don't see them improving on that.
Wow, that's a big call actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Leicester though, I think they'd probably take that because, like, the one thing I always remember about Leicester is that they have, even when you go back to like historically, they've had, like, when they were promoted to the Premier League, they had one like stellar season. Like, I think even like Martin O'Neill got them to the Euro Cup back in the day, and then they got relegated the next year. So they've always been like an up and down sort of side. I think even having just a bit of stability, especially with all the players potentially leaving, I think they'd probably take that, quite frankly.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. They've done a bit of an experimentation in the pre-season, and it looks like they're going to be lining up 4-4-1-1. I just and obviously the Mahrez thing is going to drag on for a bit. He's asked to go. Who will take him? Will they sell him to anybody?
Yeah, it's going to drag on. It really is. I mean, it looks like Rome is probably the closest, and that's primarily because no one else seems to be going for him, and that's really surprising for me. I think it's because his stock has dropped so much from the Player of the Year award the last year.
Yeah.
There was links with him at Arsenal, and it was quite obvious, on Twitter that no one wanted that,
Nice way
No,
of
we'll
putting
take
it.
anyone. Take Marcus. No, it's fine.
Yeah, you're grand. No, you're fine. No, please stop.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I don't see them doing higher than 12th, to be honest with you. Again, I see them. They're much like Everton. They're a team that they're very much running to stand still.
Yeah, like I said, like that very much the case. If you have clubs that are struggling for league form, go for a title or go for a cup run. I mean, the Carabao Cup is there, the FA Cup is there. Go for it.
The thing is that, like, with their signings, right? Like in Nacho, like, he's got great fucking, he's got talent to burn. But to be honest with you, like, he had what, 12 starts?
Yeah.
34 appearances off the bench. And he still cost 25 million. Iborra only started 12 matches last season. Although, yeah, he does have like a much larger CV. But to be honest with you, he's a 29-year-old squad midfielder.
Yeah.
Good lads. Yep. They brought in Jakupovic as backup for Kasper Schmeichel.
That's about it, isn't it?
And they really need, and also Maguire's in for that fucking, to help out with that literally creaking back line.
Yep. Goes without saying. But like I said, I think they also need fullbacks big time as well. Like, I'm surprised they haven't secured themselves another right back to replace Simpson. I'd imagine that's on the shopping list, but they might want to get on with it. They are kind of running out of time.
But the thing, what I will say, I think my last word on Leicester City is that their biggest problem is Leicester. In that they seem to be a team that if they're not playing on like full throttle, they're complete dog shit.
Yeah, it's all go or go nothing. That's based on what's going on
it's
there.
like, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not overly optimistic for them, other than I do think they can scrape it. I rate Iheanacho. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling he can do the job for them. So yeah, I have him in, and I think he could be their player that kind of gets them into the second half of the table.
Yeah.
But other than that, I wouldn't be too optimistic.
Okay. Right, let's move on then to Liverpool, who
Your fave.
yeah, well, yes, unfortunately. I now have to talk about my favourite team and try and pick up the chances. No pressure. It's been a weird summer, it has to be said. I mean, we were started off very gung-ho in terms of recruitment. We acquired Mo Salah very well. Super signing, it has to be said. Like, especially when you see him how he's doing in pre-season, he's gelled in straight away. Solanke is an absolute steal as well. I'm amazed we got him from Chelsea out of contract as well, so we just have to pay like a tribunal fee sometime down the line. That's great. The way he's performed as well has been phenomenal. The way it was kind of described by someone, I can't remember who it was, but someone described Solanke as basically the player that Benteke should have been in terms of his positioning, his like physical attributes, and just his tactical awareness. He's been absolutely fantastic, and if anything, one of the signings of the summer, if you ask me. And then finally, about fucking time, we finally signed a left back after much tribulations. We got Andy Robertson from Hull. Really good signing. 23 years old, has so much room to improve as well, and gives Milner some competition. So that's good. It's a weird summer for us because we have been trying very, very hard to sign players. Like, we went as far as we could in trying to sign Naby Keita, but Rasenball Sport Leipzig. Oh, fucking arseholes.
Look, I'm sticking with Red Bull. Fuck me saying that. Yeah. No chance.
Oh, we're gonna get sued. But we tried absolutely everything that we could to get Keita. We offered 70 million, we offered 75 million. Like, the bank balance is open for business. You know, we can have a blank check open, but the clubs that we're talking to are not playing ball, and that's very much a frustrating part of it. It's not even about us in a sense, at least in terms of the Keita deal. We have done our best, but it's just them not playing ball. And the most annoying thing is, it's in their best interest to sell up, because like next season he can fuck off for 48 million to us, which is probably what's going to happen. We're going to sign him next year for a cut price deal, and like at the same token, that's probably why we're not so annoyed about it, because it is a better deal for us in the long run. Disappointing thing is, we're not getting him now when he's red hot. Again, that's the kind of trade-off you get. I think the main kind of like story involving us has been Virgil van Dijk tapping up allegations, which is disappointing to say the least. But like I said, we don't know how much of that is from Southampton trying to be like, you know, to cry wolf essentially, or how much of that is actual, like, you know, pretty much just like foolishness in terms of like trying to recruit from the back door. Either way, like Van Dijk was like, let's just say, like a number one target for the summer, because we did absolutely need a centre back, and I think having Van Dijk there would make us a much more impressive team, and could very much give us a title chance. It's very hard to say. Another thing from our pre-season as well has been a lot of our players coming back from long-term injury. Mane is back, Henderson is back, and Sturridge is back as well, more or less uninjured. He pulled up after scoring a goal, but he's fine, I think. I don't know, maybe. But either way,
kind of Sturridge can be, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's never inherently 100%. But even still, like, it's actually, I'm quite happy that he's still here. I'm still happy he's on the books. Nobody in particular has been bidding for him. No one's interested in him, and that's only serves us interest, you know. But that's good though. That's good for us, because at least we still have him as an option. Like I said, Champions League football this year, we need all the help we can fucking get, because the last time we were in the Champions League, when we looked at our bench, all we had was Ricky fucking Lambert. So we're doing much better if Champions League wise than we did last season.
Say what you want about Sturridge. He's a step up from Ricky Lambert.
He is very much several steps up from Ricky Lambert and Fabio Brini and all the other shit number 9s we've had over the years. But yeah, like I said, it's like the quality of football wise, it's been a very strong pre-season for us. We've only lost one game, and that was to Atletico Madrid on penalties, and we were playing a reserve team to them. So it has been a very good summer in terms of our fitness. We only escaped with 2 injuries, which is standard for a Klopp team. So again, the pity of that is Lallana is out for 3 months. That sucks, quite frankly. I think Klein's going to miss the start of the season as well, which gives Alexander-Arnold a shot in the team, which is good because we wanted to get him in. It's generally feeling positive, but we could have had such a big statement of intent if those 2 deals went through. If we had signed Keita and signed Van Dijk, then we would have been a title contender. At the moment, we're not, unless we can get similar deals in. The frustrating thing for me is that we don't have a plan B for either of those positions. We went full throttle into the Keita deal and hit a brick wall, and we don't seem to be in talks with any other central midfielders. We're happy to either move Milner into the central midfield and then let Moreno and Robertson fight for left back.
Paul Gerrard back?
He is still on the books, so maybe, I don't know. It's worth a shot, I guess, even just to make up the numbers. And then for Van Dijk, I think that's a crucial deal. We need to get a central defender in, and once again, we're putting all of our faith in Southampton playing ball, which is not a guarantee considering how many deals we've done with them over the summer. And there's no plan B. There's no one else we're linked to, and it's clear that Sakho's not given a second chance. So it's a weird summer for us because we know what we want, but we're too inflexible to do anything about it. Like I said, that's my stance on it. The way I see it is, at least with the Salah deal, and there is some good options up front now. We don't seem to be as one-dimensional as we were last season. Origi is going to improve. Ings is back fit. Solanke's there. Sturridge is a fantastic plan B. It's better for us than last season, but at the same token, that could all go terribly wrong as well. So I don't know what you guys think about it, but that's at least my stance on how we're doing this season.
My stance on it is actually quite positive. I got to see clips of your pre-season, and I know people who were at the matches, and they, I heard very good reports for Liverpool that they played really well, but a lot of that good play came from Coutinho, who, as we all know, has been heavily linked away. The fact that you didn't kind of mention it there, I think you are fairly hopeful that he stays.
100%.
Well, that's fantastic. But I think that it is the end of the transfer window, and I do think that you can do the work, because I think at the minute Liverpool are a hot prospect team to join. They're in the Champions League. Mm-hmm. They, you've got the likes of Coutinho if he stays, Mane and Firmino there that can actually, that are proper world-class players. Mm-hmm. I think with a few deals being done, I don't really know too many of. You got Salah, Salah, Solanke, and Robertson. Salah, he's a real signing free. That's really good. Solanke, again, kind of Chelsea loan farm, finally leaves the farm, going upstate. But they're good signings. They're decent ones. I think you do need your Keita style midfielder coming to the team. But other than that, I think you're doing well. I actually have you challenging for first.
Well, I'm flattered. I'll be honest. Like I said, we'll show.
It's nothing on you. It's nothing. You're not doing anything about it.
You never know. I might need to be drafted in for fucking reserves at this stage if we keep getting eaten through our players like Klopp tends to do. But yeah, it's.
No, I genuinely think this is all. I've based my my guessings based on, I suppose, good feeling and potential moves that could go through.
Yeah.
And bearing that Coutinho stays, I can see he's doing really well.
Yeah.
So that's why I have that. But I think it all hinges on how you do the last few days of the transfer window.
Yeah, because much of your point about Coutinho, like I said, I didn't mention him because, quite frankly, at least this season, Coutinho to Barcelona is completely bullshit. The reason I'm saying that was, and I believe it was Jamie Carragher who made the point on Sky, I think a few days ago, and he kind of put it in a sense that I don't think anyone has done yet. But like when you look at it, Coutinho is not like a left winger or right winger like how MSN works. Like if you're replacing Neymar, you're replacing a winger per se. Like you're replacing an inside forward, which is what Neymar is, and Coutinho is not that. Like we played him, like all of last season, we played him in that front three with Mane and Firmino, and he did okay. But when you put him back like a few yards back into the midfield, holy shit, the difference in his play is phenomenal. Like as you were saying, Burkbot, the interplay even between him and Salah is something out of this world. Like when they're like fully clicking and they're like going through games, there's gonna be such a relationship between them in terms of goals and assists. He is so much better in midfield, which is why I feel that he will be a replacement for Andres Iniesta rather than a replacement for Neymar. Like, sure, you sign a Dybala or a Dembele to be your replacement for Neymar, but if you want someone to replace Iniesta, then Philippe Coutinho is the only person you get, hands down, because he is the one that sets a tempo in that midfield like Iniesta does. He's skillful, he's talented, and he just finds any pass you can get. So absolutely next season, pending a strong World Cup and a strong league campaign, then absolutely Coutinho will be a Barcelona player. But that's next season. This season he's with us and he's going to give us a title chance. That's my stance on it.
I have to somewhat disagree with you. I think you'll finish top 4. I don't think you'll have a good titles run. I see you winning cups.
I would welcome a cup, absolutely.
And there's a reason why for that, in that I see this quite exceptional Liverpool squad, and I think it's ridiculously top heavy.
Yeah. Oh, as always the case is.
you're still quite suspect defensively. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you sign Van Dijk, that'll do well, but the prospect of, Mignolet in front of an ever-changing back four when the injury sets in, that's scary. It's a bit of buffoonery in the transfer markets, but your pre-season was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
He had quite a lot of players away at the Euros and the Copa America.
Yeah.
And Klopp still got them all stuck in for a full pre-season, and they looked really good. I mean, fucking even Moreno looked like some kind of extension left back. I am the most surprised person about that, by the way.
Exactly, he was amazing.
I was looking at some of the clips and I was like, Jesus Christ, he looks like a left back rather than the MDMA riddled nat who likes the odd Jake on his own fucking 18-yard line.
Yeah, and like I said, it's such a complete turnaround. But once again, that's pre-season form. When he gets to the season, he could be back to normal. But Jesus Christ, I take a chance on him if he's playing that well. And
there's one word I'm going to sum up Liverpool's potential season. Is if Mane, Henderson and Sturridge can stay fit. If Chan and Coutinho, I know Coutinho will stay, but if Robertson, Salah, Solanke can hit the ground running, it's just I know there's a lot of ifs there, and Klopp's going to put his money on a few of the younger and fringe players, which is always a bit of a risk. I really see he's getting something out of the season. I don't see a title challenge. Not because I don't think the squad can do it. I mean, in all fairness, I think you've got an unbelievable attacking unit with a style that can just fucking destroy anyone.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think it's still an unbalanced team. Even if you did get Van Dijk, I see he's doing a good cup run. I see he's getting potentially League Cup, maybe even going very far in the FA Cup. Also, think about fucking one little word. I don't think Robertson's there really to challenge Milner. I think he's just there so that Milner can have a bit of time to actually drink a cup of tea. I think he's there so that he can breathe a sigh of relief. So that it's like Milner's like, oh, that's great. That's one less position I have to fucking fill in this season.
Well, this is the curious thing, Neil, because like I said, the way Moreno has been playing in pre-season, there might not be a need at all for Milner at fullback. Like he could be deployed back into the midfield. Again, this is the weirdest kind of logic from Klopp, because we've missed out on someone like Naby Keita. We can draft Milner back into the midfield and make up the numbers, and now we still have two left backs in the side. Robertson and Moreno.
I still see Milner slotting in left back on the big games.
I would agree. I would agree with that somewhat. I think it's better to have experience back in there rather than someone who's rationed. Moreno. Basically, I don't discount that at all.
Keep Moreno, if you can stop Moreno from huffing all the MDMA, then he's grand. He's great.
He's a good kid. He means well. He's good
at his clean.
Oh, it's a wonderful phrase for him, actually.
The thing is, I think actually, to be honest with you, I think one of the players, and this is a bit of a left field thing, one of the players I'm looking forward to watching for Liverpool is Klein. I think this is going to be a big season for him.
Okay.
Because he's that solid. He's got that solid part down.
Yeah.
Now he has to add that spectacular to it.
I see your point, actually, because there is going to be a good bit of competition for his position from Alexander-Arnold. Kind of working to the opposite of your logic, Neil, but still to the same point. Klein has to pull it out of the bag to keep Alexander-Arnold out of the team, quite frankly. And I think actually somewhat Joe Gomez can be thrown into this situation as well, because quite frankly Ragnar Klavan is there purely because we didn't have enough centre backs and he's not that good. And unfortunately Sacco again has just made a mortal enemy of Klopp. He's not going to be played, which is so frustrating to me still, because he is a phenomenally good defender. Maybe a little bit stupid tactically, but Jesus Christ is a much better improvement on Lovren, who's had a very poor pre-season actually, now that I think of it. The one person who's really struggled in pre-season has been Lovren, and I think his nuts has been trying to join with Van Dijk potentially joining. Like, I remember seeing him in interviews, and whenever you mention Van Dijk, holy shit, he turns angry. Like, he really gets annoyed about it, because pretty much he's getting replaced. Like, if the first choice defense there is Matip and Van Dijk, and that's a phenomenal defense. Let's face it. But yeah, again, much to your logic, I think Klein does have to step it up. He's been a solid 8 out of 10 all season last season, but now he needs to whip in more crosses, whip in more shots, and keep Trent out of the team. I agree with your point.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's there's too many ifs in this Liverpool team for me to go, oh, they'll challenge for the title. I don't see that. Maybe next season, when you iron out a lot of those kinks,
yeah,
that might happen. But I see this Liverpool team doing a serious cup run. I'll put you down for one, maybe 2 cups. I
would be as hopeful for that, at least.
And a top 4 finish.
Yeah, I take top 4. I think the main target would be a cup and or top 4 finish, which is more or less what I kind of had in mind anyway. I really like a good run in the Champions League, to be honest with you. Like I said, our Champions League form since more or less that night in Istanbul has been shite and non-existent. So I think if we can get through the game against Hoffenheim with fairly unscathed, we're going to get a tough group anyway, because I think we're going to be either pot 4 or 3. So we're fucked. We're going to be good.
You're going to get past Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
Bayern have already pillaged them.
Yeah,
they've lost
exactly.
2 of their. I think they've lost Rudy and some other fantastic.
And they're managed by a fetus, which is really much working to our advantage. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.